To be a man means to understand what the masculinity of the energy is, and to also understand what the femininity is, and to have those merge in a perfect balance. Which means that, a real man is not an emotional 14-year-old. There'll be 50-year-old guys I've seen running around driving Lexuses. When you talk to them, emotionally they're 12. They're little boys. And they're so pathetic, and it's funny. I mean, it's actually funny. I did this thing for a while where I was having this experience where millionaires, they'd want to hang out with me. I don't even know where they came from. But this one guy was vice president of Piper Jaffray Stockhouse. And he loved me, but he couldn't stand me. He had everything, was never happy. And as far as he could tell, I had nothing. And I was never unhappy. And that pissed him off to no end, because he's losing. He even looked at me and said, when you're around, I suffer from mental puniness. And I just laugh. It's like, look where you're invested. The fact that you are an investor, you have no idea what you're doing. Because being is not, this is not for the ego. This whole life experience is not for that. It's not for how many cars we can have, how many notches on our belt. It's for none of this. It's for the being. Well, what's the meaning of life? Get in touch with your being and you'll know. You won't have to ask anybody. You won't have to have anybody telling you. You won't have to follow some regimen. You'll know. Being knows. Mind, ego, doesn't. It's basically another great way to explain the ego. Take your computer when you get home, put clothes and a hat on it, give it a name tag, and have it be your puppet. There it is. That's ego. It's just your computer. You know what I mean? It has your computer doesn't know the information it has. It's not like your computer uses it. You do. Your computer stores it. Right? That's it. That's all it does. Nothing else. So there's your ego. I mean, are you a warehouse? Or are you a living being? Are you a file cabinet? Or are you an actual animated living being? Are you Windows 98?
Yeah.
You crash on?
No.
Or are you being? Or are you the power source?
Definitely.
Right? So if you're the power source, that's where the experience should be. The computer should just be there as a place to store information.
Right.
Kind of like your freezer is a place to store your food. When you're hungry, you walk up, you open the door, you grab what you need. You, the being,
Right.
opens the door, grabs what it needs, eats it, and it's done. There's none of this dilemma. Same thing. The being goes to the storehouse. That information is not necessary. There it is. And it's done. It pulls it out and then it goes and does its thing. And the mind is sitting there not being abused. But right? So use it just for that. So when you go to help somebody, never do it from the mind.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Never, never, never. Because it's not going to be anything. Which means, yes, really, you're going to have to decide how involved you want to be in anything. Right? I mean, if we all have friends with some serious issues. Everybody really is in the fight of their lives. So, if you're going to help somebody, understand to be bringing your being in close proximity to it. Which leaves a very, very wide field for you to be effective in a lot of different ways. You have to see if your intention really is to help. And if it is, your mind won't have anything to do with it. Because then you can be there, open, in the flow, and all you'll really be doing is standing in such close proximity of that damaged good, your friend, and you'll be basically feeding a stream of energy from your being. Right? Because it's all coming from the same place. You're not going to give it your take. You're going to give it the excess energy. You're going to funnel it over, right? And you're going to allow that to work on it. You're going to be there. You're going to be there and you're going to be involved in it. Right? You're not going to talk to them on the phone. It's okay. just forget about that. Right? If you're going to really help them, I mean, what are you going to help them do? Put band-aids on? I mean, anybody knows how to do that. To curve the blinders in a little bit further until they don't see? Or are you there to encourage them to take a step out and open up, you know, and change things for real? Allow the being to do it.
To rise above it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to help people in an energetic way. I don't want to take in their groceries or mow their yards. Done all that. Chopped wood and carried water for old Indians for years. No one did that. I don't play chauffeur to them anymore. No, I want to be, basically I want to go around the country doing this. And actually imitating what I'm talking about. To at least give an introduction to it. An energetic, experiential introduction. To something we all have access to.
Pretty cool.
It's a life. I'm already satisfied, so might as well do something. Right? So I look to the being. I say, hey, what do you want to do? This is where it ends up. This is a situation like this. There's no, I mean, I'm a pretty pragmatic guy. I'm not some wild dude. Yeah? I have 2 kids. I have a wife of 17 years. You know, yeah, I'm pretty conservative when it comes to this world. Why? Well, I mean, why wouldn't I be conservative? I'm talking about using my energy to to reignite my engines so I can be in that high state that I know of. So of course I'm conservative. Because I don't want to spend my energy on crap. I want to put that energy into the rocket so I can launch it and I can hit the mark that I see. I can see the destination. How much juice am I going to need to get there? It's kind of like I'm going to drive to Florida. How much gas do I need? I don't want to run out halfway. That's going to suck. I don't know where I'm at. It's not my destination. It's going to be a big wreck. So I'm constantly asking, what do I need to do to have enough juice to jump and actually make it to that? So I am conservative. I conserve my energy. Because every activity you have takes energy. Every single one of them. So there's a bunch in there. Mostly, you know what takes more energy than anything is mental activity.
Right.
Especially when it's confused. Because it's just spending all of it. You ever had a day of being confused? How do you feel at the end of that day?
Totally.
White.
Yeah. More depressed than you started out.
The short circuiting going, zip, that, zip, that. You know, so that there's the momentum. Reverse that. Take that energy and use it. Store it. Okay? This. So if you look, a lot of the mental activity you have going on in the day is spending energy uselessly. There's nothing that you can act on in the mind. I mean, most of it's bitterness and judgment and stupidity, just griping. If you can eliminate all the energy it takes to do that can now be put to use in a way that actually is empowering you.
Right.
Instead of making sure that your knees don't get out of the mud, ever, let alone your head.
Right.
You can't exist with just the top of your head above